Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first Dust It Off event, a collection of culture whose mission is to bring new or archived performance work out into the world. I am Lewis Pickles, and I will be your host for this evening. I am the new theatre and performance editor for GoldDust magazine, of which the newest edition has gone live today. Please find the link to this in the description of this live stream, and I'll also place it up at the end of the event for you. In a time where we may be unable to access arts and culture in the same way, we aim to bring stories of the past, present, and future bring them off of our dusty bookshelves and cluttered desktops and bring them to life in a new digital realm. Dust off your favorite books, poems, scripts, or pull out your own work for a reading. This event will give new written work in GoldDust a chance to be performed by actors from the Goldsmiths Theatre and Performance Department. Please enjoy this evening of new works created, published, and performed by Goldsmiths students and alumni. So, before we begin, I'd like to give special thanks to Alexia, Olivia, Malene, Philip from GoldDust and the Media and Comms Department, as well as our actors who are from Goldsmiths TAP. I would like to introduce all of our performers for this evening, so please grab a cup of tea or a cheeky Monday glass of wine and enjoy the show. Firstly, I would like to welcome Charlotte Eyres, a second-year drama and comedy student who starred in Tinted at the Volts Festival back in February. Charlotte, would you like to come say hi?
Hello.
Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good. How are you feeling about tonight's event?
I'm excited. It's great to be performing again in the sunbeams.
A long time coming. So I just have a quick question for our audience to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Charlotte, what is your favourite drink?
Espresso martini.
Espresso martini, perfect. Yeah, the perfect mix of caffeine and alcohol. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Charlotte, and we will see you back for your piece a bit later.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the hilarious Grainne, who is an emerging writer, director, performer, and jack of all theatre trades, and she'll be making her cabaret debut in September. How are you doing, Grainne?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Doing fine. So a little story time. Grainne had a wisdom tooth extraction today. How is she?
Well, less numb, so I don't want to worry the audience if my face isn't moving.
Well, I hope the pain isn't that bad, and you'll be able to speak by your piece a bit later. Thank you, Grainne. We'll see you.
Thank you.
And finally, we have the wonderful Lex. They are a powerhouse performer with interests spanning political theatre, musical theatre, and participatory works. Come on, Lex, how are you doing?
Hey, hello, not too bad.
Nice to see you, nice to see you. How's your day been?
Long, but also, which day is it? So it could be endless day, really.
Typical. Well, yeah. I have one question for you, and there is a correct answer.
Of course.
Who is your favourite person in this call?
You.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, we will see you in a bit, Lex, with your amazing rendition of one of our pieces a bit later. Thank you. Please do drop us a message into the comments section of our YouTube live stream if you have any thoughts or want to give some, praise to our actors or some of, ideas around the pieces. It'd be really lovely to see what you guys think of the things we're going to see tonight. Now, throughout lockdown, I've been enjoying many things. From learning that a diet consisting only of halloumi probably isn't the best for my waistline, right the way through to realizing that people can see into my window as I dance terribly around my bedroom in my underwear. But more importantly, I've learned the importance of looking after myself. In this time of great stress, anxiety, and health concern, it's important to look after ourselves. So to kick off our event, I'm going to be reading an excerpt from When the Sick Rule the World by Dodie Bellamy. Dodie Bellamy is a contemporary writer who specialises in genre-bending work that focuses on feminism, sexuality, cultural artefacts, both high and low, and all things queer. She describes her work as championing the vulnerable, the fractured, the disenfranchised. She believes the spiritual and the political can be found in the most unlikely places. Bellamy states that the essay form, of which this is the closest prose can get to poetry without mimicking it. A content warning for this piece includes themes of sickness, anxiety, and high stress. Thank you. Have you often had to lower the regular dose of prescription or over-the-counter medication or herbal supplements because you were too sensitive to normal doses? Do you avoid caffeine in the afternoon or altogether because it can keep you up at night? Have you ever experienced adverse reactions to medication? If so, what happened? Do you smell odours when others can't? What kind of odours? Do you have a sudden onset of symptoms, headaches, skin rashes, nausea, shortness of breath, on exposure to chemicals, mould, dust, pollens, or other environmental allergens? What symptoms? Please list all the chemicals you can get a reaction to. When do you last remember feeling really great? Describe your residence when your illness began. Type, age, carpets, heat source, paint proximity to industry, etc. Describe your work environment when your illness began. Type of building, ventilation, toxic, exposure, neighbouring businesses. Have you ever had to change your residence or job due to health reasons? Have you ever had a known chemical injury or major exposure? Have you ever been exposed to chemicals or toxic metals whilst at school or at work? When? How long? Name them. Have you ever worked where adjacent businesses regularly used chemicals or toxic metals? When? How long? Name them. Have you ever worked in a building where the windows were always closed? When? How long? Have you ever worked where you or your co-workers complained about the air quality or smells in the workplace or were injured in any way? When? How long? Have you ever heard about any air quality incidents in your place of work? When? Describe what you heard. Have you ever lived near any heavy industries that regularly emitted waste into the air or water, i.e. golf course, dry cleaner, plant, shipyard, mine, chemical factory, dump site, or landfill? What type of pollution? When? How long? Have you ever lived in a house built before 1978? How long were you there? Have you ever lived on or adjacent to an agricultural area? What kind of area was it? When? How long? Have you ever lived in a home where mold was a problem? When? How long? Have you ever lived in a home with a water leak or water damage? When? How long? Have you ever lived in a mobile home? When? How long? Have you ever lived in a home where turning on the central air or heat caused you or your family members to feel sick? When? How long? Have you ever felt that there were conditions in your home that affected your health? Use of aerosol sprays, chemicals, cleaners, construction, painting, etc. When and how long? Are pesticides or herbicides used inside or outside your home? Have you ever lived near a busy highway, street, or gas station? When? How long? When were your air ducts last cleaned? When were your air filters last changed? Is your stove, oven, gas or electric? Is your furnace gas or electric? Water heater, gas or electric? Do you wear dry clean clothing? If yes, how frequently? And in which room are they stored? Are there animals in your home? Do you have air purifiers or water filters in your home? Do you heat food in the microwave? Do you have candles? Do you regularly get hair colouring or visit a beauty salon or get acrylic nails or been to a beauty salon where acrylic nails are done? If so, when? Have you ever used scented soaps, detergents, potpourri, perfumes? Do you still have your used fabric softener? Have you ever used recreational drugs? If so, then what compounds? Have you ever been given vaccinations? If so, when? Have you ever had any reactions to any vaccinations? Have you ever smoked? If so, for how long? Have you ever lived with others that smoked? If so, how long? And how old were you? How often do you eat fish? What types of fish do you eat? The wall of questions makes me feel devastated and hopeless. You are very sick. Your city apartment is making you sick. Thank you very much. That was a reading from When the Sick Rule the World by Dodie Bellamy. Next up, we are moving into some new writing by some of the Goldsmiths media and comms students. We are going to have a performance of Doors by Ipek Besik, performed by Charlotte Eyres. Ipek is a writer from Turkey who is about to enter her second year at Goldsmiths. Content warning, this piece explores themes of entrapment, anxiety, and mental health. We follow the thoughts of a young woman trying to answer a very simple question. What is a door?
When I was a child, I couldn't sleep at night. I grew up and learned how to sleep, but before I learned how to sleep, I went to see many doctors. One doctor told me it was because of the city, because of the sounds and lights that came in through the walls and the windows. Last night, for the first time in a long time, I couldn't sleep. There could have been many reasons for this. I heard yelling from the upstairs neighbour. I heard the sound of trains go by, and I saw the lights coming in from the street lights, and I saw light coming in from the cars, and I saw and heard sirens. When you can't sleep, it's easy to blame the city, but the city never sleeps, and you've been able to sleep before, so you have to look inside. There could have been many reasons to why I couldn't sleep, but there was just one. There was this stupid question, tiny question stuck in my head. What is a door? The dictionary says a flat object that is used to close the entrance of something such as a room or building. I won't accept that because a flat object and close the entrance. For some doors are not flat and they don't close the entrance. Like sometimes I'd open a door only to be greeted with a brick wall. And one time I entered a room, I looked back and saw the door was a fish tank. Then there were doors that were locked, and the keys for these doors, I'm pretty certain, have never existed. So if a door was never opened and can never be opened and was not made with the purpose to be opened, is it still a door? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. Well, then who knows? I don't know. Finally, I decided what looks and feels like a door is a door. The fish tank is a door because it feels like a door, and the door to the brick wall is a door because it looks like a door. I also decided I must be severely mentally ill, that everything I thought had happened in the last few days must have been a figment of my imagination. If I look sane, but feel insane, then am I insane? And if I look insane, but feel sane, am I? You're overthinking this, darling. What? We're overthinking. A door is a door. I offered you a simple deal. Count the doors in my house and I will get you a ticket to anywhere in the world. A simple deal that you're not making me regret offering. Then she laughed. Loud, long belly laughs. Deep laughs. I don't think her belly is where they come from. It must be somewhere else, like somewhere deeper. I think they come from the center of the earth. A dark hole connects the center of the earth to her mouth, and when she wants to laugh, the sound waves travel from the center of the earth to her mouth. She spits the laugh out and it echoes for years and years, and she closes her mouth so you can't hear it, but it goes on forever inside her. I regret accepting the deal. The laughing stopped. Why is that? I used to be normal. You, your deal and your house, you've made me like yourself. Then there was a silence, but I knew the laughs were echoing inside her. Well, darling, if you were so normal before, then why did you accept my offer in the first place?
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was incredible, super powerful. If you are enjoying any of the performances this evening, please do tweet or mention us on Twitter and Instagram at GoldDustMag on both, and I'd love to see your thoughts. Now, we're going to be moving on to some archive footage now of some performances. And for those of you that may not know, I am a cabaret performer and producer. And earlier this year, I set up a variety show that brought new and emerging cabaret artists from all across South East London together under one roof. The show is called Let Them Eat Cake. Drinks, drag, and cake, what more could you want? Unfortunately, I would have loved to have shared with you a true live performance of this and send cupcakes across the world for you to enjoy whilst you watch. However, I'm a poor student and I did not have 3 hours to get into drag for you. So what I have done is something better. I have curated some archive footage from a number of different performers that performed at Let Them Eat Cake. A lot of these come from our show back in February before Miss Coronavirus decided to push back my bank balance into the negatives. So please enjoy this archive footage from the cabaret variety show, Let Them Eat Cake.
God made love to me to make me.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm going to replay our video. Apologies for that. When the world's at war, I love you heal us all. Help me let down my God made love to me to make me. Just broke my guitar thing. So make love to me. Things could get bad, but I already knew. So I stepped on, so
Today's been a really sad day for me. My brother got arrested for drug dealing. And it's so sad, you know? It's so sad when it's your brother. But it's devastating when it's your drug dealer. What's to do? Like, I've got another brother, but I only have one drug dealer.
Now, of course, as tonight's event is coinciding with the launch of the GoldDust magazine, I do urge you to, after the event, go check that out. There's some fantastic work up there. And from our next edition, there will be some theatre. There will be a theatre and performance section. So if you have any archive performance footage like that, any pieces you would like to put in there as script, any photographs from productions, any opinion pieces, or any concepts for video performances, please do send them my way to lewis.pickles1@gmail.com. I'll put that at the very end of this for you to go back to. It'd be great to see your work, and maybe you'll have a chance of having it featured in the magazine. If, of course, you enjoyed what you saw and like the crazy wild time that is Let Them Eat Cake, but are looking for a safe, socially distanced cabaret night, well, then you are in luck. Let Them Eat Cake will be returning on the 3rd of September at Prince of Peckham with a limited number of only 25 tickets. For more information, please head to officialrose.xo on Instagram or Prince of Peckham on Facebook to get tickets. You may be asking, Lewis, did you just plug your own show? Oh, honey, yes, I did. Marketing genius. So when looking for pieces to be performed at this event, I knew that variety is what I wanted, and nothing says different more than an Irish folktale told through song. So I'd like to present the ANAM, written by Verge, performed by Lex Urry.
So this is the tale of the ANAM, a few hundred years ago. Her presence is known to the locals through the wind, the rain or snow. Her spirit lives within the oak of the big old tree, and her wailing sounds at night will be heard by all of ye. Oh, Nellie was a small girl, bright copper carrot hair. She fantasized a great deal, telling tales round the whole of Clare. Her sisters always teased her. They'd call her Copper Knob, and her ma always distracted with her legs round Father Bob. She read the ANAM tale by the fire each damn day. Get your head out of that book, Nell, or we'll throw you in the hay. She didn't really care, as the young dear had no doubt that the ANAM would arrive one day and sure shut her sister's mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this is the tale of the ANAM 200 years ago. Her presence is known to the locals through the wind, the rain or snow. Her spirit lives within the oak of the big old tree, and her wailing sounds at night will be heard by all of ye. It was one usual Sunday, and the family came round for Mass. But Nelly was telling her tales again, so her mother smacked her ass. She cried the whole night through as her sisters had a laugh, and Nelly cursed down the road and back, saying, "She'll break you all in half." Her ma was in the kitchen, making a good old jot of bread. The ANAM knocked on the door, and in her spirit fled. Her mammy turned to stone, and her sisters shrieked in fear, and sure, Nelly stood there gawping as she shed a happy tear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this is the tale of the ANAM 200 years ago. Her presence is known to the locals through the wind, the rain, or snow. Her spirit lives within the oak of the big old tree, and her wailing sounds at night will be heard by all of ye. Now, here comes the ending. The story Nelly longs to tell, the day the ANAM broke in and cast her wicked spell. She stole her sisters' spirits and replaced them with her own. She sure as hell changed their lives round, now her sisters never moan. Her ma is a forgotten statue just hanging in the kitchen. The story of the ANAM will sure leave your sisters bitchin'. Her spirit arrives to rescue the forgotten little one. And now Nelly's presence is known to the locals through the wind, the rain, or sun. One more time now, but this is the tale of the ANAM 200 years ago. Her presence is known to the locals through the wind, the rain, or snow. Her spirit lives within the oak of the big old tree, and her wailing sounds at night will be heard by all of ye. But the ANAM isn't done, and she'll be sure to visit thee. So make sure ye kind to your sisters, or she'll be coming after ye.
Thank you so much, Lex. That was absolutely incredible. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm going to have that tune in my head all day now. So thank you. And thank you also, Catherine, for your fantastic poem, so full of culture and history. The ANAM is an Irish folktale about a soul sucker who steals children away and replaces them with its own. Sadly, we are reaching our final performance of the evening. If you have enjoyed Dust It Off, please do share it with your friends. A recording of this live stream will remain on YouTube for you to look at later and share on all social media platforms. It would mean the absolute world for us to be able to do this more regularly, and perhaps in some wild, utopian, distant future, we will be able to perform with you in the same room. Now, this next piece is called Skyscrapers and was written as a response to a stimulus of the same name by Matt Haig, set out by Wipe Your Feet Theatre. Content warning, this piece explores themes of gender, suicide, and sexual assault. Please welcome Grainne, who'll be performing alongside me in Skyscrapers. Sophia and Johnny burst through a thick metal door onto an urban rooftop. It is messy, but at the edge of the rooftop sits two clean red chairs. Sophia and Johnny do not make eye contact with each other. They step towards the chairs and two old magazines are blown by the wind into their feet. One reads, The Businessman Insider. The other, Natural Woman. They pause. Growing up in the city just felt right. I knew that the pace, the excitement, the opportunity was right up my street.
You can't escape the city. Once you're in, you're in.
I only really knew my dad growing up.
It holds you round the waist and calls you darling in your ear, buys you vodka tonics and keeps you in a state of breathless intoxication.
I can't remember the last time I hugged my mum before she... I always like to think she would have liked the city too.
You somehow get in a taxi with the city air and watch as all the skyscrapers keep their beady eye on you.
Dad said she worked in the city. I think on top of that building there. She was a banker, you see. Powerful woman, I guess.
Their eyes ensure you don't flinch when they get too close, making sure you always feel inferior. Because we are, aren't we?
Dad says she should be proud of me. It's the only decent thing he's ever said about me anyway. I think he sees my NHS lanyard and assumes he knows the deal. I'm a porter, by the way. Although, training to be an accountant, got to find a way to afford the rent, you know?
My long blonde hair and pastel dress don't run this city. Yeah, I may have an office at the top of JP Bloody Morgan's, but how do you think I got there?
I come here to think of my mum sometimes. I wonder whether she grew up in the city too.
This city. Man. Carnival of erections, varying lengths and sizes across the horizon. The only way for a woman like me to get to the top of one of these skyscrapers is to ride the elevator, scale the building, floor by floor.
Was this place her home?
I hope that by the time my son is in his 20s, things will be different. I just can't wait until then.
What could we have done if this was our home? Together. Well, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the performances this evening. But before we finish, I would like to bring back each of the actors to take a little bow. So Charlotte, Grainne, and Lex, come and show your beautiful faces to the world. Well done, well done. How did you guys find that? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah, nice to
Thank
share
you.
new work.
You guys did an absolutely fantastic job. I am so happy. And I'm sure some of the writers that are going to be listening have definitely, hopefully enjoyed their pieces being read out aloud with you guys. I know that Ipek said to me that it was so nice to have people actually, engaging in their writing as opposed to it just being for an assessment or an assignment. So thank you guys so much. And I hope everyone watching at home give a little round of applause for our lovely actors because they've done absolutely fantastically. You guys can stay on, let everyone bask in your beautiful faces. It has been an absolute pleasure to host the first ever Dust It Off event. Please do take a look at the latest edition of GoldDust magazine. And if you have any written work, archive footage, concepts for performances or ideas for pieces that could be performed or published, please do send them to me at lewis.pickles1@gmail.com. I hope to see you all again very soon. Stay safe, keep shining, and good night. Take care, darlings.